Hello captains, and welcome to this special production video celebrating yet another milestone for your channel, the Q8 Pilot channel. I've started doing flight simulation videos on YouTube a little over a year ago, and let me tell you that the experience has been absolutely rewarding. Now, a lot of you have asked me so many questions over the past year. Some were personal, some were kind of generic. Some of the generic questions were like, how did I start with aviation? Am I a real pilot? And some of the personal questions were things like, who are you? Where are you from? Where do you live? And so on and so forth. So I've decided that with this special production that I would answer most of your questions and kind of lower my guard a bit and let you guys get to know me a little on a personal front. So we are currently situated at Queenstown in New Zealand, and note of thanks for Lee Spender for recommending doing a flight in New Zealand, a domestic flight in New Zealand. And today we're going to be heading to Wellington Airport in New Zealand. So this is going to be a domestic flight. A note of thanks to Mr. MB Liveries for providing this beautiful livery of the IXEG for the Q8 Pilot channel. If you're watching, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And of course, a note of thanks to all of my subscribers who've made my experience absolutely rewarding. To every person who has stopped by the channel, who has commented on a video, whether it was a constructive criticism or it was praise, let me tell you, it all added up to my experience, and I'm very happy that I've started this channel, and getting to know all the people that I have come to know has been absolutely a joy in my life. Also, before we begin our flight today, I want to sort of say a big thank you to my family, my wife and my 4 children, who actually are very understanding that I'm doing something I really like, something I really enjoy doing, and that means that I would have to take some time out of their schedule sometimes, and of course of the family schedule, to do these videos. And let me tell you that it does take a lot of effort to do these videos. It takes a lot of time, and they are very supportive, and I really appreciate that. So to my family, I love you all very much. You're the reason my days are always bright. So without further ado, folks, we are going to be jumping into the flight deck today, and we're going to be cruising at flight level 250 today. And while we're up in the air, I'll tell you my story. Welcome to the flight deck, captains. A quick note, I believe in my first impressions video I told you folks that the replay does not work, the replay mode, which you can basically go from here, aircraft toggle replay mode, and the culprit was actually the Tugmaster by Jar Design. I disabled this add-on and the replays work fine. So there is nothing wrong with SkyMax or Real Weather Connector, they work just fine. The culprit was the Tugmaster. So I'm not going to be doing the full, I'm not going to basically show the full preparation today, just so that we can save more time for the big story, I guess. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire up the aircraft. I will then basically program the FMC, and then we'll depart Queenstown. So let's begin here with the preparation. Battery on. Emergency lights are on, and this one here, and we'll start the APU. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I will program everything, configure the aircraft, and I'll come back and see you right before pushback. Welcome back, captains. Okay, so the FMC is programmed, our flight plan is in, and all the performance data is entered. Let's go ahead and complete the preparation. So the flight director can go on. We can arm the auto throttle. Our altitude is set. Our altimeter is set. And let's go ahead now and do the engine start. And we'll be out of here in no time. Oops. All right. All right. And now we can push back and start the engines. All right. Let's call ground services. And we want to push the nose to the right. Nose to the right. Release parking brake. There we go. Right, we can begin starting the left engine first. All right, let's start the engine. All right, and now we can start the left engine. Right, pushback is complete. Right, and 25 and 2, let's give it fuel. Right, looks like both engines are now stable. This one can go to auto. Right, and APU goes off. Right, everything else looks good to me. Taxi light goes on. Right, and auto brake goes on rejected takeoff. Flaps 5. Right, and let's do our flight control check. Full up, full down, full left, full right, pedal full right, pedal full left, and all is good. We are ready to taxi to runway 23 for departure. Let's release the parking brake. Okay, captains, we are at runway 23 and we are ready to depart. So the lights go on, runway lights on, strobe can go on, and let's see here, anything there? No, everything is good, trim is set, we are ready to go. So let's release the parking brake. And Tuga. Great. You're up. Right, let me make a turn here. Retracting the flaps. Right, and now we can enable LNAV and VNAV and engage the autopilot. There. Okay folks, so we continue to climb now, and our final cruising altitude today is 250, and once we are at our assigned altitude, we will basically begin kind of, you know, our story, or my story, with Q8 channel and the Q8 pilot channel, and basically try to answer some of your questions. Alright, I'll see you at 25,000 feet. Enjoy the flight. Welcome back, captains. We are at 25,000 feet, which is our final cruising altitude today, and the weather is very nice, so let me begin. My personal card. Okay, so my name, of course, you all know my name. My name is Osama Al-Abdullah, and I go by Sam. For those who are very close to me, know that I go by Sam, and this is a nickname that I was assigned when I was back in the States, and it kind of, you know, stuck to me. I was born on September 25th, 1974, so that puts me at 41 years of age. Who's counting, right? And I graduated from California State University, Fresno in the United States in 1998. I have a degree in computer science and a minor in mathematics. I am married. I've been married for 16 years now, and I have 4 beautiful children. My eldest is Nada, 15 years of age, and followed by Yasmin, who's 10, Dana is 8, and my little boy Ali, who's 3 years of age. So that's a little bit about me and my family, and let me tell you, I just want to say a few things about my stay in the States. I was there from 1993, to be exact, January 8th, 1993, all the way to January 2000. And during this time, I've made a lot of friends. I really learned to be tolerant, to be appreciative of different cultures, of different religions, of different beliefs. It really taught me a lot, and kind of my molding into, you know, from a teenage boy who left his family at the age of 17 and coming back, at the age of 25, I think was a big thing in my life. And being completely independent of the family and kind of make my own decisions was something that I really cherish, and I really thank my family for their support during my time in the States. I still have a lot of friends that I'm in contact with from the good old days, some of which I've lost contact with. I still very much miss being there. It is something that becomes part of you, and I think I owe all the people that have made my life so beautiful, and it is the man that I am today because of those people that I've interacted with, whether it was my professor at the university, or it was my next door neighbor, or it was the lady serving coffee at Denny's, during those really late hours. So all in all, I think that has really shaped a lot of my life, a lot of my personality and character. So that's a little bit about me and a little bit about my background. So what do I do today? Today I'm partner and chief operating officer of an IT company here in Kuwait. It's a very small company. We're about 36 employees. And we offer enterprise solutions for businesses here in Kuwait and the GCC region. So that is that. Okay, so the big question, how did I start with aviation? Alright, my story with aviation goes actually back all the way to my childhood. I used to, believe it or not, breed pigeons. And I was always amazed how those pigeons, landed. Just the shape of the wings as they land, and how they kind of flare before landing is something that always amazed me. Another thing that kind of got me hooked on flying was, believe it or not, Superman, Christopher Reeve. May his soul rest in peace. Christopher Reeve, by the way, was born on the same date as I was. He was born on September 25th. And he was my childhood hero, and he actually made me believe a man can fly. I actually, for a very long time, believed that, a man can fly. So that kind of also instilled the love of flight inside my head. And another thing that kind of always intrigued me is instruments or dashboards, kind of like what we see here in the aircraft. And I ended up, of course, building corporate performance dashboards for companies for a very long time as part of my job in one of the local banks here in Kuwait. But the look of an instrument panel that gave you all kinds of information and made you aware of your surroundings, to me was an idea that was just brilliant. And for me, I remember when I was a child and we used to travel with the family, I used to always ask my dad permission to speak to the captain. And I believe that he actually fulfilled these requests several times. I remember the very first time we were traveling to the U.S. in I believe in '82. I was a young boy at the time, and I told Dad that I wanted to see the cockpit. And actually we had a connecting flight. It was a British Airways flight. We had about 6 hours of wait in London Heathrow at the time. But the captain was actually kind enough to let me step up to the flight deck, and that sight was just absolutely incredible. I was mesmerized by all the gauges and all the thrust levers and all the good stuff in the cockpit. So as the years went by, of course, I kept those images of the flight deck were just really imprinted in my brain. And I remember when I first got my Amiga Commodore, or Amiga Commodore 64. Probably for a lot of you, you probably don't know what that is, but if you're from my generation, you probably know. Amiga Commodore was a brilliant computer, but believe it or not, it was actually half a meg of RAM. It had half a meg of RAM, and then you could buy an extension for another half. But the thing is, it was a great computer to the graphics of that computer were just really out of that world at that time. It was something that was really, really wow. So I got a flight simulator for the Amiga computer, and it was, it wasn't anything like P3D or FSX or X-Plane. Now it was something very rudimentary, but I kind of, it kind of reinstated my kind of thinking that this is what I want to do. I want to be a pilot. Now things didn't go exactly as I planned, and then I basically went to the States, and on one Christmas night, I think it was in 94 or 95, I actually decided to take my girlfriend at the time on a flight in a private plane. It was a private Cessna, of course. It wasn't a private jet. I couldn't, of course, afford a private jet at the time. But it was actually a lot of fun taking the flight from Fresno, and the captain, I think it was something Lee, I can't really remember his name, but he was a retired United States Air Force pilot, and he took us for a flight over Fresno, and then I told him I want to do something a little more, exotic maybe. So we landed at Harris Ranch, and we had a beautiful dinner, beautiful steaks, and then we head back to Fresno. And from that point on, aviation has become part of my life. I started reading a lot about aviation, about aircraft. I actually went on lessons I did the complete, the complete ground school at the time over in Fresno, and of course I did a lot of takeoffs and landings with Captain Lee. So it was a lot of fun doing the flights, and from that point I kind of stepped away from aviation for a very long time, maybe until about 2 years ago, when I really started getting back into it, and I had FSX, started playing with FSX, and then I was really, introduced to X-Plane, and then I started doing the videos. So that's pretty much how I got started with all of this. It's probably not a very interesting story, but since a lot of you have asked, here's the answers. And I really want to say again that this has been really very rewarding experience, just really doing these videos, getting to know so many people from around the world has really done it for me. Future of this channel. So I haven't really planned anything for the future. What I do know is that I will continue producing videos for as long as I feel that I'm adding value to the community, that I'm adding something new always. So that's what's going to keep me going, really. Will I ever monetize? I don't know. Again, this is not the reason why I started this channel in the first place, so I don't know. There were a lot of partner networks, and they could send me emails and proposals and things like that, and they promised me great returns and what have you. But you know what? When I come to think about it, I don't want to ruin your experience. I don't want that banner ad to appear and then you have to go and click it. So I just want you to have an all-round aviation experience that you can enjoy ad-free, and really I want to add value to this community and help the developers as well. that develop add-ons for this community. Folks, I hope that you've enjoyed my my little story here, and of course, if you have any questions, I'll always be very happy to answer them. So this has been a long a long chat or long talk, so I'm gonna let you guys enjoy the flight now, and I will see you right before top of descent, as always. Welcome back, captains. We are approximately 25 nautical miles from top of descent, and so I thought it would be a good time to start preparing the aircraft for our approach. So let's go ahead and go to performance page here. Alright, so we're going to do flaps 30 today for landing, so that's put us at 131, and we've got about plus 5 knots for wind correction, so let's put that here. Alright, so that would be 136. Okay, and let's go ahead and get the ILS frequency, which is 109.9. That is set here and set there, 109.9, and the course is 341, which is also set on both sides. So we are pretty much ready for our approach. Let's go ahead now and reset the MCP altitude. Here, go to the next page. Alright, so cruise, we are 15 nautical miles. Let's go ahead and take a look at our restriction. So first one here is 6,000, 5,000, then 7,000, and the final one is going to be 2,000. Okay, alright, so I'm gonna actually go ahead and reset this all the way to 2,000. And we just have to make sure, because I know that the this is a mountainous area here, very mountainous terrain, so we need to be very careful with our altitude. And the plane should begin the automatic descent now to the final altitude here of 2,000 momentarily. Let's check here again. Let's go to the cruise page. Yes, we are about 8.3 nautical miles now, 8. So we are pretty close to our top of descent point. By the way, I'm using the UHD version 1 mesh for New Zealand, just if you're wondering. And I'll post the link to it in the description section of the video. Okay, let's see where we are here. 4.6. Very lovely country to fly around. It's very nice. This is my first flight in New Zealand. Again, it was a recommendation from one of the channel's supporters and loyal subscribers. He actually made this recommendation. I'm glad I took it because it's actually amazing flying in New Zealand. I've done some short VFR flights, but never a full flight. All right, so we've begun our descent now into Wellington. And as you can see here, we do have some clouds in the area. Nothing too serious though. And I will see you guys maybe at 10,000 feet when we are ready for our final approach. Alright, see you guys in a bit. Alright, captains, we are pretty close now to the airport, and everything is going to end very quickly here. So let's go ahead and reduce our rate of descent to about 800 feet. And I had to, let's arm the speed brake, and at this point we can go to 190 knots. Alright. I think, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and arm the speed brakes again, just to kind of, you know, help us reduce speed. That's the airport right there. And flaps 10. Right, and let's activate the approach button for landing. Okay, it looks like we have a lock. Okay, and autopilot B is engaged for auto land. I'll probably end up you know, I'll end up disengaging the autopilot just right before we land, but right, let's turn these on, and maybe we'll do that as well. Yep. Master caution. I wonder what is going on. Well, nothing I can... Ah, there is something there. What is that? Off-schedule descent. Well, I'm going to land the plane, so we're almost there. Alright. And flaps 15. And gear down. Right. And let's reduce speed to 160 knots. Right. 150 knots. And flaps 25.
$1,000.
All right. And let's do 136. And flaps 30. Alright, all is well. Adjust the auto throttle here. Right, that's about right.
$500.
Okay. And let's disengage the autopilot. And now it's my plane.
$400. $300. $200. $100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
And touchdown. First screen. manual braking. We just barely made it. Wow. Welcome to Wellington, captains. We barely made it. I told you it was a short runway. This is actually considered one of the dangerous approaches, one of the top 23 dangerous approaches in the world. But thankfully we've made it safely here. I'm gonna go ahead and... Okay, let me park. Let me set the parking brake here, and let's take a look at our landing. Captains, I hope that you've enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed making it for you. I hope that it's been a fun video to watch, and until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other. Thank you so very much for watching, and thank you so very much for making the channel successful. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye for now.